So they're, no, but we support Israel. They can't be. But they are in reality Nazi, and Israel itself is acting as a Nazi because of them, you know.
Right. So how does Zionism play into this? Because you're not talking about the Jewish people only. You're talking about Zionism as a religion, right?
I don't have anything against the Jewish people because myself I have close relatives, even Jews. I don't have problem with the Jewish people. The Jewish people are actually chosen by God for a specific purpose. That's not the ultimate...
So how does Zionism play into the whole Illuminati story?
The religion of Abraham got corrupted during the course of time. Certain families got corrupted. And they also mingled with the Vatican for 2,000 years in Rome. They have been the most ancient Jewish community in Rome. In this picture, we're talking about the Jews, their great influence, their great power, and they really have great power. Even in the oligarch movement in Russia, they're very powerful. In this picture, we have here Senator Sergei Gurdjieff, famous Russian billionaire, senator, close friend of Vladimir Putin, and one of also my close friends for a time, because he was the representative of the Illuminati, of the Gruppo Diur in Moscow, and one of the senior intelligence operatives at all levels regarding the research of the Holy Grail and all that matters for the Russian government. He gave me a gift, which after I would like to show you, which is a mask brought from Tibet. Illuminati gift, because Illuminati likes to give this kind of gift. Ancient artifacts, this kind of stuff. And this peculiar artifact was very interesting because it was given by the 13th Dalai Lama as a gift to Nikolai II, the Tsar of Russia, because their intention was to subject Nikolai II to the Illuminati control of Tibet. Because the Tibetan monks are the Illuminati of the East. And they are seen as the Illuminati of the East. This mask was given to me as a gift by Senator Sergei Gurdjieff, which I showed you before in the picture earlier on.
Yes.
Senator of the Russian Federation and famous Russian billionaire.
Right.
And kind of Indiana Jones of the situation. I like to go and find this kind of thing. But actually this was given, if I don't get it wrong, to his uncle, who was at the time mediating for the conversion of Nikolai II to the 13th Dalai Lama. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. We all know how things went then in Russia. But we managed to preserve this famous artifact, and to bring it out of Russia in 2002 was quite an adventure, I tell you. Thanks God.
Very powerful.
It's very powerful. One motivation, I asked Sergei, why are you giving me such a gift? I mean, it's a quite incredible gift of historical value. Obviously for him, maybe, but it was very important. I think that the Russians really want to get rid of it. Because apparently it has, is connected to a very powerful entity, that it transports it with it, and it has the power of emanating it. And the Russians basically want to get out of the borders.
I see. So did you purge it, you know?
So, well, I myself obviously have to be very careful with it and with the use of it, but definitely it's under my close surveillance, and I have it, so that's it, you know, I'm going to keep it.
Okay.
It's a very peculiar mask, very peculiar. The 14th Dalai Lama, the present Dalai Lama, used it when he has his own divinator who went into trance with this mask before the Chinese arrived and warned them to go away. So in a way saved the life of the Dalai Lama. But this tradition, as we were saying, is part of the Bon tradition, is the shamanic tradition of Tibet, which is more ancient than the Buddhist tradition. But it's said to be dominated by the Buddhists and by the red caps of Tibet. In the middle we have a Jew, Lazarus. Lazarus is, his wife is the head of basically the customs in Russia, so you can't get in Russia without the wife of, she's the head of all customs operating especially in Moscow, and he himself, an oligarch, working for the oligarchs, is of Georgian origin, but he's a Jew, and he explained me how the Jews literally transformed themselves into the aristocracy of the communist establishment and managed to survive also the persecution of Stalin if they simply worked with the establishment in a certain way. Nowadays, they're very strong. But for example, Senator Zagami officially objects the Zionists. But when this other guy here gave him a $900,000 watch in front of my eyes, he accepted it. And why, you say, why a senator from the Russian Federation should accept such a gift? Because corruption in Russia is made with watches. There is $1 million watches. Once I had 3 of them on my table. And they're used for corruption by the Illuminati so they can keep on their oligarchy and all their practices.
So, but why? How does Zionism serve the Illuminati's interest? You're talking about their vision of Armageddon because it is written so in the Bible.
Absolutely. The Zionism, you see, is a corrupt branch of what is really the religion of Abraham. That was already corrupt for a long time and tried with Zionism, especially coming out of Ukraine, to gather power. But the Zionist families, like for example the Rothschilds, who have been so important for the implementation of Zionism, are themselves also working linked to the Vatican, because they are Knights of Malta. So you will say, how is possible Zionism and the Vatican? It doesn't really fit in. One should oppose the other. While publicly it might seem so, in reality they are completely connected. And I think that John Paul II made this quite evident when he called them our oldest brothers and embraced with so much love the rabbi in Rome, which I repeat, Rome is the oldest Jewish community in the world, so connected to Rome you have also this, and they worked for the Vatican. I saw Mossad agents in Rome from the Sonnino family, which I used to work with, involved with La Banda della Maiana, which was this fearsome gang of people involved with the P2, with the intelligence service, killers that were doing all kinds of weapons, cocaine, heroin, all kinds of business with them. And they were receiving every year a letter from Andreotti, which is a senior Democrat Christian, very well known in the Atlantic Pact, in the NATO. Andreotti is one of the key people in Italy, also as a politician still nowadays. He has been Prime Minister for many times, and he was is a senior Opus Dei and P2 member. But working with these people, I saw the power of the Zionist establishment. For example, Giorgio Ugo Baletteri wanted to do a Isaac Rabbi award. And I said, why? But because under the influence of the Zionistic element that is always there, and they like to go in Jerusalem, they have a specific place under what is the Temple of Solomon. Still nowadays they do this practice. They have a high priestess of Melchizedek. Now this high priestess is not really a woman, is a man-woman. Is a priest. There used to be a man and a priest and a monk, I think, working for the Vatican. He's one of the biggest experts of the Bible. He's now called Michela Mercenaro. He had a sex change, approved by the Vatican. Now she is working in some kind of university officially. In reality, she's working also for the police in their investigations in the occult and occult murders, but she is the high priestess of Melchizedek of the Order of Zion and celebrates these occult rituals in Jerusalem with the elite there, and her function is to be androgyne, because half man, half woman. Mm-hmm. She can have this Zionist element is working. At times it has been opposing the Vatican, but at the end has decided, especially after the Second World War, to merge, and it couldn't be otherwise, because after the Second World War the Vatican became an American club.